Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sahaj Tales podcast yet again. And we have a new episode and a new guest, Anoop Muralidharan. And this is
Hi,
episode
Sahaj.
4. Uh, so, hi, how are you?
Very well. Thank you so much
All
for
good?
having me here. I mean, it's all good. It's a pleasure to be a part of Sahaj Tales, and I'm very happy that you have taken an initiative and you've started a YouTube channel, and I think it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anoop. It's a pleasure, knowing about this. It's Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so tell me what's been going on.
Oh, a lot of things. So, just to give an insight about how I got to know Sahaj is through this beautiful play called Blind City, directed by Alex Brune, and that's where I first met Sahaj. So ever since then, theater has been taken a priority in my life as well. So last week we had a round of short and sweet, which went very well. So we've got through to the semi-finals, and that feels wonderful. Sahaj, do you know how I got through to Blind City?
How? Yeah. Please go ahead and tell about it. No problem.
So it's very interesting. So I was driving to office one day and I was listening to this show on radio where Akansha was there and they were talking about a play that's going to happen. So I was like, theater, very interesting. So I had done theater around 10, I think 12 years ago. It was a musical. I'm sure everyone must have heard of the cartoon The Addams Family. So that's what we did back in India in Chennai, and
Yeah.
that was my first ever theater experience. And guess what? Uh, they gave me a character who is a tomboyish girl who's also a Siamese twin.
Okay.
So I was always tied to this girl. The name of my character was Fauna, and the other one was Flora. So Flora, Fauna. So we had to be tied up all the time. So
Yeah.
during the rehearsal, we were tied
Yeah.
up, and we had to walk together, sit together, eat together, and only during breaks we were allowed to untie ourselves and go, and that helped. So eventually, we got our mannerisms cloned, and it was a great experience. So that was my first ever experience in theater, and I loved it. It was a productions called Caricature Productions, directed by this lady called Smriti.
Yeah.
And then after that, I didn't quite think of theater. I was always into music, so I wanted to pursue music and things like that. And then I got into radio, and I was in Dubai. So theater was very accidental, so to speak. So I listened to Akansha on air. So I was like, why not give her a call? And I gave her a call, and she said, "Oh, why don't you just come over to the junction? It'll be nice." So I said, "Yeah, why not?" And I was at the junction, but unfortunately, Akansha had to leave, so I couldn't meet her. So Akansha said, "You know what? There is an audition happening there. Why don't you go meet this person called Alex?" I was like, "Audition? Me? Okay, for a play. Interesting." So I went and met Alex, and Alex, as we all know, is very, very, uh, you know, very kind. And the moment you meet him, you kind of have a bond with him. So
Yes.
Alex was like, "Hey, Anoop, yeah, so here is your script, and you can pick and choose a part, and you can prepare for your audition." I
Yeah.
was like, "Interesting. All right, I've never done this before." So I was there at the junction, reading a part over and over. And then I think I was the second last person to give the auditions that night. And I went and
Yeah.
gave my auditions. And after 2 days, Alex sends me a message saying that I'm in. And the most beautiful part is the part that I took to speak is the part that I got.
Yeah.
So I think that was a beautiful thing. And yes, so that was my first ever experience of theater in Dubai. And I think it was a great experience to have almost, to be a part of a production that has some 40, 45 people, 80 nationalities, and that worked around for 2 months. And you know how it was. It was
Yes.
fun.
I know how it was. It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I met Sahaj for the first time, and the way how Alex trains us and gives us all the exercises before we get on stage actually helped a lot. I did not know why he made us do a lot of things initially, and then eventually I kind of got a hang of it, and I started enjoying it. I don't think I had missed any rehearsal except for the days when I had gone to India. But otherwise, I made sure that I was there for the rehearsal because I completely enjoyed it. And the play in itself was one of the best experiences of my life. So ever since then, theater somehow, like I mentioned earlier, started becoming a priority. And that's when Short and Sweet was announced, and I did not know how to get through to Short and Sweet. So again, I called up Seema from the junction, and I said, "Hey, Seema, so you know what? I would like to be a part of Short and Sweet." So Seema was
Yeah.
like, okay, why not send me an audition video?" I said, "Well, why not? I'll pick up a script and maybe just do a monologue and send you a video as soon as possible." And I was thinking which one to choose and what to talk and things like that. And that's when I get a message on my Instagram from this person called Nihal. So Nihal says, "Hey Anoop, I've heard about you from two people. I'm directing this play called The Casting Audition. Would you like to be a part of it? This is my number." I was like, wow. And I called Nihal and we spoke, and he asked me to send him a video. I did. And then he gave me an opportunity to be a part of this beautiful play called The Casting Audition. So that's the most beautiful thing, and that's something that I really believe in of late, about believing in the things that you want to do, and that will actually happen.
Yeah, that's true. When you believe and make things happen, um, you believe that things. When you believe that things will happen, they actually sometimes do happen, and
Yeah.
it's something which we'll touch upon later, but in the show. But you know, I'm also fascinated by theater a lot and film in general. It is an
Mm-hmm.
incredible industry to work in, and
Mm-hmm.
I started off when I was a teenager, and when I started off, I got into this beautiful world of drama and theater and film and all that, and it was a wonderful eye opener for me. For me, it was
Absolutely.
culturally an eye opener because I was like, before I started doing all this, in school, I was a science student, and everyone was like, maybe you should get into engineering and all that stuff, and it is like I didn't study engineering, but like I studied
Mm-hmm.
physics, chemistry, maths, and economics at the time when I was younger, and
Okay.
it wasn't very easy, and I did not, it just wasn't clicking with me, so
Mm-hmm.
and when you're not able to, like, when you're stuck in a rut, right, what happens is that
True.
you are basically in a situation where uh, your mental health deteriorates, your physical health deteriorates. It's not a very good
Yeah.
experience, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
uh
Mm-hmm.
you know
Absolutely.
and
I
yeah,
completely
obviously Blind
agree.
City is a play which we did together. It was great, and it was a wonderful experience, which, I mean, my journey to Blind City, in fact, it was not a straightforward journey to doing this. Talking about Alex himself, I knew him for about 8 years back in the day,
Wow.
and
Mm-hmm.
I met him in 20. That at the time I was in university when I met him for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
When I came to know about him, when I knew of him, I was in
Mm-hmm.
university for the first time. I studied at Heriot Watt, so Heriot Watt students usually participate in Shortlist Suite, the drama
Mm-hmm.
club students.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I came to know about him, and then I met him in
Mm-hmm.
this is initially in 2015, and
Mm-hmm.
my dad and I had a chat with him, and he said, "Sahaj, are you committed? Are you capable of committing yourself to this profession? Are you, like, capable of being a committed person and all that?"
Mm-hmm.
And it left me wondering. I still remember the fact that I even remember this interaction now 8 years later. Is the fact it's like, it did have a huge impact on me. And
Mm-hmm.
then from there onwards, I started on my journey. I made different decisions which did not work out initially when in Dubai, and then I moved out of Dubai, study in New York City. And you know, after that, like when I came back, it things really started. I would say started like to come together. I met
Mhm.
people who were really supportive and helped me out in my journey and all that. And it was wonderful.
Mhm.
I mean, and then obviously COVID stopped everyone, and I had to move back to India. But when I came back from India in 2021, it was a it was again, I did not know what to do, where everything was going and what was going to happen. Then obviously, like, I did this web series soon, which will be out soon.
Mhm.
And then Blind City happened, and when
Mhm.
Blind City happened, just went for the audition. I was like thinking, like, this is just going to be another audition. Oh, talking about the Blind City audition itself, he
Mhm.
keeps saying, "Oh, Sahaj, you keep going to these auditions, you don't get picked. What's wrong with you? Going wrong? What's happening with you? Why do you continue doing? Why do you continue doing what you do? Why
Mhm.
are you like acting so? Why are you trying, to get into this profession and stuff like that?" And it's like, uh, it, and I felt something that day,
Mhm.
and it set up a fire in me,
Mhm.
and I brought out that side of that personality in that audition,
Mhm.
and I got picked for it.
No.
I got picked for the play, and
Mhm.
when my dad came to know about it, he was like, "Wow, congratulations and all that. You're doing well and all that." It's like
Mhm.
that that sort of, like how you mentioned the Siamese
Ab-
twins,
No,
yin
yeah.
and yang.
Mhm.
It's like my dad is like first. So my parents are like first, "Oh, why are you doing this?" Oh, and then like when you get it, it's like, "Oh, congratulations! What That's wonderful. I hope you do well and all that." The Siamese
Mhm.
twins, yin and yang. Yeah.
Very
So,
interesting. Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So,
And mm,
and what? Yeah, tell me. You were saying
no,
something.
I was just thinking. I mean, you did economics, physics, chemistry, and you got into acting. I mean, I was just thinking. I did my hotel management. Okay, and what I did
Yeah,
after
yeah.
that
I
was
did. Yeah.
I
You were
was a
saying.
corporate trainer. I still am. I still do sessions, uh, and training, and then radio, and now acting. As in, and honestly, I think a lot of training and radio has helped me on stage when it comes to articulating your dialogues and your the way you emote and all those. But it's only after Blind City that I realized how beautiful it is to be on stage as a part of a play, and how immensely connected all of us are on stage. Even if someone else is not able to make it, or if he or she is unable to perform, we compliment them, we support them, and make sure that the play is a hit at the end of the day. So, I mean, that's the kind of cooperation that I have seen, especially with Blind City and in general with theater. I think it's a beautiful, emotionally connected medium. Uh,
Yes,
Everyone,
yes.
it's a very common question, when you get into movies and if you've been to theater, about how different theater is from cinema. But and
Yes, it is.
I've always felt that theater is such a beautiful live emotion. I don't think anything can recreate that beautiful uh, live emotion, on stage. I
Yeah.
think that it has an innate uh, beauty and honesty within itself that makes it beautiful all the more.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And so theater. First of all, talking about theater itself. Before I talk about theater, in fact,
Mhm.
I would say that you said like you did hotel management and you're a corporate trainer and everything. So I also studied business management in university. So I have like it's like a triumph. It's like a trio of or a trio of like um, scientific subjects, then commerce
Mhm.
based subjects, and then arts based subjects,
Mhm.
which is like a very rare kind of skill set, maybe in
True.
you know to have an to have knowledge about all three things is quite, I won't say
Absolutely.
rare, but it is like
Mm-hmm.
it is unique in a way, I feel.
True.
And
Absolutely.
and even though I wasn't exactly the best student in all these things, but
Mm-hmm.
like to have that privilege of learning about um, all the three things has been really helpful, and I'm really grateful for it, that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Talking about theater, first of all, you know, theater is such a beautiful medium, as you said, of expressing yourself. And the most important thing, especially what is also, I think, is also taught in corporate training, is projection of voice and voice modulation.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Especially like in theater when you're performing in front of an audience, and like in the corporate world when you're giving off presentations to people, or when you are talking in a forum to people, or when even if you're hosting a webinar like on
Mm-hmm.
Zoom or something, that itself is a skill
Mm-hmm.
to keep your audience engaged and keep everyone
Mm-hmm.
engaged in that sort of conversation. Because let's imagine that you have that feature on Zoom where you can have like 99 people on a meeting, and all of them
Mm-hmm.
attend, and to keep them engaged for toward till the end, and that is, you know a skill in itself.
Absolutely.
Because, you know first of all, you have to keep your audience engaged, you have to keep everyone willing to listen to you in the first place. That's very
Absolutely.
important.
True. True. That's something that I have realized and learned over the years. As in, uh, the attention span of people, it is actually reducing because we are so much into social media that our attention span, for instance, if you look at Instagram, they used to have uh, you know videos that has more duration, and then reels happen and stories are happening, so our attention span is going down. So unless you hit it at the first, say 5 to 10 seconds, it's very difficult to be in, what to say, to get engagement on Instagram or Reel. Likewise,
Yeah,
on stage, or like you said, if it is a webinar, unless you hit the right note in the first few minutes, it is very difficult for you to have the attention of all the people out there. So something that I was told, and something that I use as well at times, or what helps me, is to perhaps come up with a joke right in the beginning. So the moment you get the joke, you're in the zone. So it's not like you
so
prepare a
you're talking
joke.
about presentations in the corporate world.
Not just
You're talking
presentation,
about presentations in the corporate
not
world,
just
or like talking to
presentation,
people in general.
yeah, yeah, not just presentation, but communication, or communicating to a larger crowd per se. It can be in the form of maybe a solo artist performing, or it can
Yeah,
be hosting a webinar, or it can be giving a speech in front of
yeah,
a crowd. So the cracking a joke is just one of those things, but something that
yeah,
works is definitely cracking a joke. That does not mean that, oh, you come up with the most absurdest of jokes and people don't laugh. No, that's not the point. So it is it comes with experience,
yeah.
and it also depends on the kind of crowd that you're
Yes.
interacting with. uh,
Yeah.
so what I meant to say was, if yes, like you rightly said, training and radio did help me quite a lot with all your intonations and voice modulation, and of course, I think more than all that, uh, Alex's training did do wonders. And the slightest of things actually makes a huge impact on stage.
Yeah.
I'm sure every day of the rehearsal, we had our, articulation exercise and everything. Uh, I'm just
Yeah.
quickly unable to remember that particular phrase that he used to make us repeat. What was it? Do you
Slippery
remember?
snakes slithering slowly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he will make us say
Lips on the tip
slowly.
of the tongue.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. That. Those are the two phrases. Yeah.
Yeah. So the way
Yeah,
how
that
it
was that.
helped
And
me. Please go ahead.
it was, yeah, it was a form of education in itself and everything. So talking about, I mean, obviously we have touched a lot about theater and all that. I would like to revisit, like, okay, things when you were, okay, younger and all that. How was your life growing up, and what was it like,
Wow. So
really?
I grew up in Kerala, in a very small town called Thrissur, in Kerala, and Thrissur is famous
Okay.
for its festivals, and it's a cultural capital of Kerala. So having said that, we do have a lot of activities happening in the town, be it religious or cultural. We had the opportunity to interact with a lot of people and get to see a lot of things uh, as when we were kids. So my dad's a hotelier and my mom's a teacher. I have a younger brother. He's a lawyer now. His name is Arjun. So
Okay, that's great.
ever since I was young, I was inclined to music. I really wanted to sing and things like that. So it was along with my education, music did have a huge part in my life. And then eventually, like when you reach a 10th standard, obviously, like any Indian household, you are asked to concentrate more on your studies and things like that. But having said that, I should say that that small town called Thrissur has helped me shape up a lot of things in me, and a lot of traits that I have now, and a lot of characteristics that I have now. It's Most of the people in Trishur are very friendly, and they by default they have a sense of humor, and that's one of the most beautiful things. And they try to see humor in the most smallest of things. So if you speak to people from Kerala and ask them about people from Trishur, they'll say that, oh, they're very funny. Yeah, that's how they are. They tend to find humor in the most smallest of things. So that kind of helped me to take things lightly as
Yeah.
well, as in, when things don't work out, or when it does not go according to the plan. I think it was being in Trishur that actually helped me take it a lot more lightly than otherwise. I started, I mean, it did not if things did not work, it did not affect me much. And I by default started to find humor in the smallest of things and cracking jokes, and that plays actually shaped me to what I am right now. And then I did my
Hmm.
college, and after that I was in Bangalore and in Chennai, and then of course in Dubai. So every place, for instance, has actually helped me as a person, with my behavior traits and character. So uh, I think that way I've been very blessed with the kind of places that I've been to, and with the kind of circle of friends and family that I have.
Hmm.
So yes,
Yeah,
right
that's
now I
really
mean,
cool. That's really cool. I mean, it's always good to have your family around and being supportive, and all that. It's really important as well. And I think that without that, sometimes you may feel like there's a void within you. Or I'm not saying you
hmm,
specifically, but like person,
absolutely,
like.
I agree. I mean, by family, I don't really mean it needs to be blood related all the time. But every
Hmm,
person, according to me, should have a close core circle of people. And
hmm,
things may work out, things may not work out when it comes to your job, or your maybe a play or performance, or maybe a movie or business or whatever.
hmm,
If you have this particular core circle, you will be able to still survive. So
yeah, that's
that
true.
that's something that I really believe in. You have to keep your core close to you, and you have to identify who deserves to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that actually makes a lot of difference in your life. And if things does not work out otherwise, like I said, your business or your theater or your movies,
Yeah.
your core is still there, and you will be able to survive and sail through. And otherwise, if you have the
Yeah.
a successful career, and if you have a great business, or your movie does well, if your core is not right, if you don't have a good circle of family or friends, you will not be just according to me, you will not be able to enjoy the success that you've just got.
No, it's true. It's absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And it's like I sometimes see people walking around. They are very successful people. Yeah, they have
Mm-hmm,
all these great lives. They have money. They have the trappings of success. What I would call it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
A big house, maybe a good car, maybe a nice garden in the backyard and everything. The swim,
mm-hmm,
maybe all that stuff. Like it's and internally they're kind of miserable. They're not able
mm-hmm.
to enjoy the simple joys of life. And
Absolutely.
you I feel sorry for them, but sometimes I also don't, because
Mm-hmm,
sort of they have sort of chosen it. I don't mean to be rude or
mm-hmm,
something, but
mm-hmm,
it feels like
mm-hmm,
they've chosen it, and they've made
mm-hmm,
that choice of being the person that they are.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
maybe their argument would be like it's better to cry in a BMW than cry in an auto rickshaw or something, or like you know maybe that's
Yeah,
what their argument would be. But like you get the idea behind it. I mean,
absolutely.
I feel like happiness is internal rather than now, especially now. When I was younger, you would get a different answer from me. But now I
Mm-hmm,
do feel that happiness is internal and not dependent on external validation from people around you, or the trappings of success that you may have or something.
totally,
Because
totally.
that's true. I mean, that's true. I think about it now because back in the day, I was definitely a different person, and I valued external trappings of success and all that, and I thought that it
Mm-hmm,
could make me happy and everything. And when there was a point in my life when I was in New York City where I felt that, and this is live, by the way. This is like I'm not really told this publicly or
mm-hmm,
something. It's like I got to a stage where I was like, it's amazing that I'm here. I'm doing what I love to do and all that, yeah. But
mm-hmm,
is this all that it will ever be?
mm-hmm,
That's a moment you have to
mm-hmm,
yourself. And I was in my room and I was like, I was thinking about it. It,
mm-hmm,
it
mm-hmm.
was a cold, chilly day in New York, and yeah, and I started thinking to myself, is this what it is? You know, and I also went through many things there. I mean, it wasn't just a smooth ride where it was like Dubai and everything is given to you, and which I was used to, like with my parents' comfort and everything, and my family being around me, all this. But now it was a completely different environment. Like I went through a stage of my life where I moved house 5 times in a month.
Phew.
It was a month of June 2018. I moved my house about 5 times.
Wow.
And there was one day I carried my luggage into class. Yeah. So,
That's, I mean,
you really think about it sometimes that, you know, is is it all what it is? Sometimes people
true.
just see, oh, you're living a wonderful life in this X and Y place,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't actually like have the critical thinking skills to see the struggle, or not.
True, totally. Absolutely.
I don't like using the word struggle, but the pain behind
The shine, yes.
the shine and the
Mm-hmm.
success and the glit, and all that. Trying to fulfill your potential in life is not always easy. And some people may not outright not believe in you. It's
Hmm.
just what it is, and it's not a good moment in life. uh yeah, it's, talking
I can
about it,
imagine.
it's
I can imagine. I mean,
yeah,
I think that's. I mean, I think it. Uh, Now I think we will have to move on to what we had discussed before, because from whatever you feel, I think you did manifest about what you wanted in life, and look where you are right now. You are all throughout short and sweet, and I think it's a beautiful place to be associated with Alex, and to be associated with so many people out there, and I think it's a beautiful manifestation that you've had. I'd like to give an example about what manifestation means to me, or I unknowingly manifested. Back then I did not know it was that I was manifesting or anything of that sort. So I was in Chennai to pursue music. So I'm sure most of us would know who A. R. Rahman is. So
yeah,
every singer's dream is to sing for him or at least meet him in life. So I
yes,
remember,
yes,
walking outside his studio and house just to get a glimpse of him, and waiting there for hours and just outside the gate, and
yeah,
waiting for him to pass by or get out. And I did find a chance to meet his manager and give him my demo CD and all that. So I went into the office and I was like, oh God, this is A.R. Rahman's office, okay, and all that. So, but obviously I
yeah,
was unable to meet him, and things changed. And I had to come to Dubai. So a piece of me was actually back in Chennai, because I was like, oh, I went all the way to Chennai to pursue music to meet A.R. Rahman, and I could not even see him, get a glimpse of him, and all that. So it did have. I mean, I did feel bad, and I like almost every week or every time I speak to another fellow musician, we used to talk about Rahman, and meeting Rahman, or at least getting to speak to him once, had been in my life for a good 15 years. Okay, so
yeah,
that's been there, and every like I said, every now and then it recurs in my mind, and I'd be like, oh, wish I could meet him, that kind of thing. I still remember one of my college mates. She called me after a long time, and she's like, okay, you know what, dude, it may sound scary, COVID's happening. So what is your last wish? I said, dude, what are you saying? So she's like, you never know, it's COVID. So I just want to
oh,
know what's your last wish. So I was like, okay,
yeah,
let me think. And you know what I told her? I said, you know what? I think I would want to sing for Rahman once, or at least meet him.
yeah,
And indeed, that was actually when I thought of everything that I wanted in life, and prioritized, and this was the thought that got stuck in my mind. And
yeah,
then cut to 2022, uh, the expo happened. I'm sorry,
yeah.
2021, the expo happened, and there was
It
a.
was in 2022 as well, the first 3 months of it.
Yes,
So yeah,
yes, yes. So yeah, exactly. So the second phase of the expo in 2022, a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine called Akhil, he is a music teacher. He's a pianist. His wife is a vocalist. So
okay,
we used to sit and jam for hours, and sing A.R. Rahman songs and talk about A.R. Rahman, and for hours together. And so he got a chance to perform at a choir at the expo with the Firdaus Orchestra, which is A.R. Rahman's own orchestra. So,
yeah, yeah,
and then he eventually got to meet A.R. Rahman, and A.R. Rahman had chosen a girl from the expo, and he was looking for a vocal teacher, a Western classical music teacher. And coincidentally, Akhil's wife was chosen, and Akhil's wife is Leslie.
mhm.
Leslie and Akhil got to meet A.R. Rahman. And I was like,
Oh,
hey, that's so cool. They actually got to spend time with him. They used to go to his house here in Dubai, teach this girl music, and spend like
nice, nice. That's
alone
really cool.
yeah, alone time with the A.R. Rahman and things. So I used to sit and listen to all the stories, and I'd be like, ha, wish someday, and all that. So, and then a few weeks later, I get a call from Akhil asking if I can be a part of the choir as well, the vocal group, and I was like, hell yes, of course, I'd love to be a part of the fiddle choir, and so they gave me the songs, and I was learning the songs and things like that. Suddenly,
Yeah.
there was a requirement for a solo singer.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
Akhil calls me and Akhil's like, why don't you send your demo? And I said, are you sure? He's like, yeah, just send your demo. And I sent my demo. After 3 or 4 hours, I get a message. I still have that message on my phone. The message says,
Yeah.
hi, Anoop, congratulations. AR's team would like to work with you. Please
Wow.
be there for the rehearsals tomorrow. Oh, Sahaj, I cried. I sobbed. That's something that I couldn't believe myself. And the following day, so there was a Qawwali group called the Orchestral Qawwali Project from London who came down, and they were short of one singer, and they wanted a singer, and that's how I came into picture. This amazing singer called Abby Sampa and Russell. They were, the people who formed the Orchestra Kavali group, and I was a part of it. And
Hmm.
the following day, I got to be at the Firdo studio at Expo with Rahman sir right in front of me.
Hmm.
And that was a huge moment. And we got to spend some time with him. And the following day, I like on the show day, I was standing behind the stage waiting for a turn, and Rahman sir just walks in, like he's walking in, and I can see him coming in. And I'm like, oh my God, here comes this person, and he's not stopping anywhere, and he's just directly looking at me, eye to eye. He walks up to me, of all the people there, and he's like, hey, I think we should take a photo before the event. Can you please call Abhi Sampa and Russia? I'm like, this man is talking to me. He knows me now. Okay. it was
I'm a
unbelievable.
celebrity. Get me out of here.
I know, right?
No.
So, and that particular event and that particular performance, I'm sure you would get the performance if you search on YouTube the Orchestral Kavali project at the Expo. There was a song called Ya Mustafa. So, the people who came to watch the event was Shekhar Kapoor,
The
Bonnie,
director who came to watch Blind City.
Lion City as well, exactly. This very famous director called Mani Ratnam. Uh,
Oh yeah, I know Manoj. Yes, him.
yes, yes, A.R.
Also,
Rahman sir.
yeah, he was responsible for um the music in Satya, was it? Or was it Munna?
No, no, no.
The first
Satya.
Munna?
Satya was not directed by Maniratnam sir, but the Tamil version of Satya called Alaipaide was his movie. So Satya was an adaptation of the same. It's a remake, so to speak.
Yeah,
Dilse was directed by him. If
yeah, yeah.
Just to give you an example, yeah, Punnian Selvan is directed by him. So uh, the point is, we got a standing ovation for the performance, and it was a blessed moment. And
Mhm.
then, so 20 this was at the beginning of 2022. I'm like, wow, what a wonderful world. And 4 months, 5 months down the lane, I get a call again saying that, hey, there's another performance at the expo with the Kawani project. There you go. You meet the guys again, and this time you get time, a more time to spend with Rahman sir. And
Hmm.
he takes a live video on his Instagram of the performance where you were here, you were performing,
Hmm.
and he gets onto the stage and shakes hands with you. I You have no idea what that means, Sahaj. From standing outside his house and studio, waiting for a glimpse, to shaking hands with him on stage and being a part of his Instagram live video.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
how I understood the power of manifestation and how beautifully that works. And also,
yeah.
there is this brilliant concept of creative visualization, and I really think that works wonders. You know,
Hmm.
you close your eyes and visualize what you really want to be, and where you should be and things you should do. uh, there's a there's another video of Jim Carrey saying that you have to visualize it and you have to work towards it. You can't just visualize and go have your sandwich. You know, you have to work towards it. So
Yeah,
the moment you start visualizing your body and everything around you starts helping you, starts working towards it as well.
yeah.
I believe a lot in the power of universe. I believe a lot in the power
Mm,
and energy of like-minded people.
mm.
So the moment you are ready, everyone else becomes ready. You know, I'm sure you must have heard this uh, usage called being at the right place at the right time with the right people.
Yeah, yeah.
I just heard that again from Shah Rukh Khan a few weeks ago before his release of Pathan. That is done by you. Unless you do it,
Yes.
unless you are ready at the right place, you feel that you're at the right place, you will not meet the right people. And the moment you
Mm.
meet the right people, that becomes the right time. So you have to feel it yourself. You have to make sure that you manifest and you see yourself like that and work towards it consistently. Like how I told you, I was so mesmerized when I heard you talk about football. I did not know that you knew so much about football, and you had an opinion, and that too, an amazing, very constructive opinion about different teams, and I was really impressed, Sahaj. I should say that, and
Thank you so much.
that's exactly why I told you the other day that you should do something with the sport. You should impart your knowledge. You should make sure that you voice out your opinion. I think it makes a lot of sense. As in, I'm not into
Yeah,
football much, but I was really impressed. I mean, a person who is not into football could listen to you and engage with what you were talking. So imagine the people who are into football. I mean, for instance, I remember you having an
yeah,
argument with Alex on football. It was actually very interesting because both of you were
yeah,
making fun of each other and or the teams that you support, and it was such a beautiful conversation. I was actually happy to be I was happy that I was there. I existed there, listening to both of your conversation.
yeah,
I think that's a beautiful way of finding out the actual you,
yeah.
and
That's
that
true.
and that makes
And even doing this, I mean, like doing the podcast itself. I mean, I've had the plan of doing the podcast for about many years, 3 years or something, 3, 4 years, and I did not know how to do one.
Mhm,
And I kept listening to podcasts a lot of them, a lot of different types. I'm mostly into sport podcasts, but like
mhm,
I tried listening to different types of podcasts from different people, which are locally made podcasts and internationally made podcasts as well. But
mhm,
I also am an advocate for locally made podcasts here, especially
mhm,
like I've
mhm,
heard certain podcasts like the Hangout.
mhm,
It's a podcast about comedy, all
mhm,
comedians coming in, and there was a podcast about you know, there were a couple of others as well, which I remember. And there was a friend of mine who actually made a podcast a long time back. It was called a Truth Room Experience. Okay,
mhm,
it was. I mean, unfortunately, yeah, he did not continue with it, but he made a few episodes, and it was very nice. And those conversations with people, I could seriously listen to them, and I used to feel happy listening to it. I used to feel excited watch, you know, looking forward to his podcast. It was it was such an amazing time at the time. It was.
absolutely, absolutely. And look at how you are connected to different people now, and just going back to the expo event again. I just remembered something that one of my co-singers said. He's based out of London. He's a Punjabi called Jatinder. He's an amazing vocalist, a true Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan fan. So he was there, and anybody who has gone to the expo, I'm sure they've seen the dome, you know. And the second performance happened
Yeah,
yeah,
I've seen the dome. Yes.
yes, the second performance happened 2 months ago at the dome. So it's very heavenly. That space
Yeah,
is very magical in itself. And Jatinder
yeah,
was standing there, and he said there are billions of people in the world, and five of us were the chosen one to perform here. And he said it he said it with so much of gratitude and power. So we did not know what he was getting into. I mean, he was just there and he was enjoying the dome, and they were having a rehearsal of the following day's lighting and things like that. So it was all lit up and beautiful. So he said, "Guys, do you know that there are billions of people in this world, and only we five of us were chosen to perform for Rahman sir for the orchestral Qawwali tomorrow." And that had a lot of power, and that had a lot of uh, what to say, it was a beautiful energy, a group of energy that of like-minded people that came together from different part of the world, because a few singers flew down from London, I was here from Dubai, a few of them flew down from Bombay and Chennai. So see how it
Yeah.
was spread out, and how beautifully it was, or how beautifully we all got together. So the power of manifestation is real. It actually works wonders. And yeah, that's something that I wanted to share with you, and how beautifully it has worked for me as well.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I mean, I also think about it. Okay, so talking about manifestation itself, what do you think is the root cause of the way of this way of thinking? Like,
It can be your soul, lightness towards something, as in, at the end of the day, like how that friend asked me what my last wish was. If you sit down and think about what you really want, it may take a few days, but you will find a ray of light, and that's what you will have to identify. And for that, you need to have a clear mind. You'll have to have clear thoughts. You can't have cluttered mind, or have back to back thoughts. You'll have to have a very clear mind, and ultimately you will find a ray of light, and you will
lost-
unknowingly go towards it.
yeah, I mean, I think I lost you for a moment, but if you could kind of elaborate
Yeah, yeah.
on it a
So
bit
that,
more this time.
yeah, as in every person will have, not I believe that, people say that you have just one thing to do. Maybe it's not just one thing. There are people who are multidimensional, who has interests in different things. For instance, I love music. At the same time, I love theater. I think they are very close to me now, right now. So in the same way, if you sit back and try to identify what you really have in your mind, and start focusing on it, I think it's brilliant. Like I said, something that I have found in you was your beautiful interest in football. I don't think that's something that everyone has. Maybe a lot of people watch football and support one team, but you were not just supportive of your team. You had an overall idea and an opinion about football, which I thought was brilliant. So I think that's something that you'll have to take up and give it a shot.
Thank you, really. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, I personally feel like football is something which I got into when I was a very young kid, and it was like I started really following football through a friend of mine, an old friend of mine, back in 2010, and he introduced me to the game, and we
I think
played
you should
football a
tell
lot in
me
the
his name.
park back when I was like 12 or 13.
What's his name?
His name is Jonathan. Yeah,
I think you should be really thankful to Jonathan.
yeah. Thank you. I will let him know. So yeah, definitely.
because
I already have,
because
but like I will.
yeah, because see what he has gotten you into, and it's such a beautiful thing. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah,
Go ahead, please go ahead.
yeah. No, I was saying. No, it was a good moment. Anyway, I was talking about even manifestation. I mean, there's a concept. which is very popular these days because of the whole, you know, exploration of the mind in general, and that's the law of attraction.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
talking about that, do you think people have the ability to manifest anything
It depends.
in
I
life?
personally believe that it should be honest and not over ambitious or greedy. You can't be greedy. It has to be a very honest thing that you have in mind. You can't just simply say that, okay, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. I want to, you know, buy this. No, yes, you may want to be a millionaire, but you'll have to be extremely honest and you'll have to work hard. Like Jim Carrey said, you can't just go have a sandwich after that. And it needs to be honest. And by honest, I mean it should not be anything that would hurt another fellow human being or any living thing for that matter. And it
Yeah.
needs to go along with the universe and not harm anything or anyone. So, and
Mm.
if it is something that would help the people around or anything grow, that would be great as well.
Yeah.
So, the whatever you have in mind has to be honest and it should be pure. And if that
Yes.
happens, I'm sure it will work.
Yeah. Yeah. So also like even yes, I agree that you know, it should be pure, it should be honest, it should be within something within you. I feel when you talk about manifestation and attracting something, I feel like it should be within you, and
Mhm.
like you said, it should be honest and it should be real. It can't just get into patterns of obsessive thinking and, you know, disguise it as manifestation. I think that's what
Exactly,
I think.
exactly.
uh,
As in, people
yeah.
mistake manifestation to be, just it's like infatuation. you know,
Hmm.
you think it is true love, but it's infatuation. The same way, you cannot manifest multiple things every day. Like today, I manifest,
Yeah.
about singing for A. R. Rahman, and tomorrow
Yeah.
I am thinking of buying a BMW. No, it doesn't work. So, so you have to be consistent and honest. Perseverance is the word, I'd say. So
Yeah.
that is something that you will have to be very religious about, and eventually that everything will fall into place.
That's true. It's like it's absolutely correct, I think. And you know, when you manifest something, it is more about, you know, what is within you. Not, I'm not talking in terms of innate talent and ability, but
And
what do you really desire? Because your desires, actual desires in life, are linked to your subconscious.
absolutely.
Consciously, you may appear to want many things in life. Like you said, you know, you want to be rich, you want to be famous, maybe you want to have a big house, maybe you want to have a great family, maybe you want to travel in business class if you haven't traveled in business class, or maybe you just want to have these wonderful designer labels. Maybe you want to sign a record deal when it comes to, you know, producing music or something. But
Mhm.
subconscious desires are desires which really guide you in life, I
Absolutely. And
feel.
Sahaj, do you know
And
that I know
that's how it
of a few
works.
people? I know of a few people who actually manifests and pray about world peace and making this world a better place. For instance, there's this lady called Uma Preman. You know what she did?
Mhm.
She's a widow, and she got to know that there was this particular 19-year-old boy who was in need of a kidney,
Yeah. Mm.
and she just randomly went and checked if her blood group matches with that boy, and it did
Yeah.
match, and she gave away one of her kidneys to a random stranger.
Okay.
So we are talking
Wow.
about such powerful people who wants this place to be a better place. And ever since then, this lady called Uma Preman started meeting people, and she set up a dialysis facility, and I'm not exaggerating. She actually lives for the others these days. So when you also manifest for not just you but for the society and the world, that has a brilliant impact. It has more impact, and it works out wonders.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually know of 3 people who have donated their kidney to strangers.
Hmm.
That no, how I don't know if I would do it. you know
Yeah.
uh, uh, so that's the kind of people we are talking about. Imagine what their manifestations are. Imagine what they pray for or they want in life. They're not even manifesting for themselves or for something that they need. And that's such a
Yeah.
beautiful thing to do. And when you see such people uh, uh, is when we understand how greedy we are when it comes to a lot of things.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
And
I was fortunate to meet all these people, and that actually made me realize how small we are, how teeny tiny we are, and
yeah.
how our objectives and our opinion are very what to say, unnecessary at times. We have to look at everything from a wider perspective,
Trivial.
and
You mean? You mean trivial?
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so
Yeah.
I think that's the power of manifestation for us as an
Yeah.
individual
Yeah.
and for the
It's true.
world, and I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. No. Okay. And so, also talking about that, how much of a part does energy have to play with it, and what is your definition of positive and negative energy?
Ooh, that's a very powerful question in itself, and I don't know how many of them actually believe in energy. I do. I
I do
completely.
believe in energy as well. I mean,
Yes, yes,
everything in the world
yes,
is energy, and how you interact with them. Yeah.
yes, absolutely. So let's not talk about negative energy at all. Let's just concentrate on the
Yeah.
positive energy, because I think that helps and that's better.
Yeah.
Again, going back to this person called A.R. Rahman, because I'm completely fond of him and I've heard about his behavior.
Yeah.
So this a very famous singer, when I got to meet her, we were just randomly talking about Rahman sir, and she said that he does not badmouth about anyone. He does not
Hmm.
tease anyone. He does not even be in a room if you are bad mouthing about people.
Hmm.
He would just walk away. So that's how much he avoids negativity. So the moment you avoid negativity, it's this plain clear positivity that you have around. And the
Yeah.
moment you
It's
have
true.
positive energy, you automatically get attracted to positive energies around, and positive people automatically gets attracted to you.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe in, and I think it's a wonderful thing to practice as well.
Yeah.
Sahaj, I just realized that it's going to be almost an hour since we started talking.
Yeah. It's fun. It's good. It's like, I mean, yeah. Um,
Wow.
uh, Also about energy, because we talked about positive energy and, you know, energy in general. Uh, do you believe in vibes, and what are they? And like, do you feel like it impacts your interaction with people?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like how you said, energy. It goes. I mean, it's the same thing about vibes as well. It's about how you connect instantly with some people, how you take time with some people, and how you don't connect at all. So I believe that you should always give it time with people, because maybe it may take time for some people to connect with you, for instance, and you should give everyone some time to know what they are, and if you never know what people are going through. So if
Yeah.
after that maybe that little testing time, if we still don't connect to a person, then I don't think we should be wasting time. So that why
Yeah.
does matter.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's true. And yeah, it's like, okay, this is the final question which I have for you.
Mhm.
So, what are you more likely to believe? Do you think people are inherently good or inherently bad?
This is something that I learned the hard way. I think people are inherently good, but it takes a lot of time and patience to understand the goodness in them. And it takes a lot of effort to
Hmm.
start knowing people. As in, I, I I don't say that I used to I judge people, but when things don't work out, I don't give more time to it. I'm talking from a very a work perspective, not even relationship wise. I'm talking strictly on meeting people at workplace and things like that,
Yeah,
wherein you instantly judge certain people and say that, oh no, I can't get along with that guy, or things like that. But eventually, if you give the right amount of time, and if you work towards a goal, I think things will work out. And I think it is situations that make people bad and not them itself. I don't think it's a an inborn thing to be bad. Yes, you may have basic characters, you may have basic behaviors, but
yeah,
what matters is the situation where you are. And basically, I think everyone, uh, people inherently are good.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I feel, yeah, okay. Before everything, before we come to an end, before we call it a day,
Hmm.
I would like to give my opinion on what I really think.
Hmm.
So I feel like people are inherently good, but I also believe that you meet some people that you feel are ruled by the devil. Like,
Yeah.
I I know which, it's not a laughing matter, but I do believe that some people like live to manipulate other people
No,
into
I
doing the bidding
agree.
for them.
So that's
And
what, after
some
you
people
give that time,
emotionally,
that testing
socially,
time with these
physically.
people, if they does not, if you feel, you always trust your gut, yeah. So your gut feeling says that you should never interact with such people,
Yeah,
keep away. I completely agree.
yeah, because of course, I mean, I have been like, there was a moment in this was about a month or two back. Okay, so I met a person at Studio Republic, and that guy described me as an enigma, and I felt that that specific word was a perfect way to describe me, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, because like
Mm-hmm.
some of the things, okay, like because one of my characteristics on a human level is that I completely live in the moment, and I make judgments or decisions based on the moment. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I don't realize what I'm doing is correct or wrong, or I don't know. It's more like I completely live at that specific point of time, and I decide what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so on that level, I get a hold on situations and people, and how things are. I completely
Mm-hmm.
assess, and that's probably why I have this knack of getting hired in places where you know people desperately need help. I feel that this has been a pattern in my life. you know
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so it's like this. When I'll tell you about the workplace or work in general,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in my case, or in personal life.
Mm-hmm.
uh, People speak to me, and I interact with them properly, and everything, how things go on, and
Mm-hmm.
I make judgments and I make decisions based on situations which happen around me.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I have this. tendency to drive people crazy and make them question them and ask themselves who the hell is this person really, you know.
I understand.
So it's like, because I believe I'm an observer of people and observer of situations, and I make
Mm-hmm.
decisions based on that snap distance. I mean, it's not like let's say for example, if there's someone that everyone seems to get along with really well, and I get some sort of you know intuitive defense signals to be like, no, 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 not that one, not that person. Something is up, something is off, or
Absolutely. I mean,
something is like,
it's so different for
you
different
know,
people. Mm-hmm.
something is like amiss about the whole situation. How is it possible that this person has such a huge following and everything, and you know it. There's one thing I want to say something say about sometimes people rarely question where things have come from when it comes to success and all that.
Mm-hmm.
When you see a successful person, some people don't have the ability to sort of question where it came from,
Mm-hmm.
or have that sort of logical thinking, or
Mm-hmm.
to connect the dots to
Mm-hmm.
about all this. And yeah, and let's give you an example. Let me give you an example. Let's say this guy. There's this guy called. I mean, he's very famous. His name is Andrew Tate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like he attracts people who are of you know who are looking for specific something very specific
Mm-hmm.
in terms of masculinity,
Mm-hmm.
but it is not healthy. Like in my opinion, I mean, when I saw his content and everything, I just saw that yeah, it's not healthy. But it appeals to a certain type of person, like
Mm-hmm.
who is lacking.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point of being successful is fulfilling the need of people, a basic
Mm-hmm.
need of people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what
Mm-hmm.
drives success in general, in my opinion, I
Mm-hmm.
feel that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you exploit that need of people, or when
Mm-hmm.
you like, that's when it becomes dangerous, like
Mm-hmm.
like about this guy I told you about. It's
Mm-hmm.
about exploiting the need to feel masculine and powerful. Everyone wants that. Every guy, and he wants to feel that on some level. He wants to feel that he's a
Mm-hmm.
provider of
Mm-hmm.
for his family, for the women who he like, who he loves, or himself, even so that basic instinct of being a provider
Mm-hmm.
as a man,
Mm-hmm.
that is being used in a way which is also negative, and
Mm-hmm.
that's sometimes it can get disturbing and terrifying, maybe to a certain
Mm-hmm.
extent, you know
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. True. True.
because you
True.
see this blatant exploitation of a regular need of people, let's say.
Mm-hmm. I
And
understand.
that
I
goes
understand.
along with certain things like
Mm-hmm.
vibes and energy, like what we discussed about.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and
It doesn't work.
talking about that, yeah, talking about that also, I feel like, when I was younger, this is something I'll tell you. I used to feel like a distinct lack of love from people around me or something, and I felt like, I'm giving all of this love to people, and I'm doing my best to be kinder to everyone and everything. And I made mistakes, I made bad decisions and everything, but still do my best to be kinder to people and all that. And why is it not coming? Why am I not getting it back? Why do I feel like I'm not getting it back? And then
Wow. Mm-hmm.
just a few weeks back, I realized that it just hit me like a truck. Yeah, it's like people understand and love me more than I think, and all the love which I was giving to people, it was coming back in droves. It was like, yes, okay, I finally get it. I'm finally getting it. I'm finally receiving all of it. It is so much of it. It is so overwhelming. It is like I did not know how to handle it almost. You know. So
Wow.
energy comes and flows back to you when you, especially positive
Absolutely.
energy. I feel now I believe
Absolutely.
that. When I was younger, I
Absolutely.
definitely did not believe this. Like, I
Absolutely.
was like positive energy. Even talking about like, Blind City and Shortless Sweet and all these things. It's like I've been working on this for 9 years, nearly 9 years, and when when everyone around you is noticing the progress you're making on a personal level, I do think people notice now. I feel it myself. It's a wonderful feeling to have. You don't,
Absolutely.
yeah, I don't think so. You realize it. It makes me feel like overwhelmingly happy. I feel overwhelmed, but I also
True.
feel happy. So
True.
yeah,
True. Sahaj, I think it was a very, very meaningful conversation that we have today, and it is actually, I'm really glad to know that even you resonate to a lot of things that I believe in, and it is great to have spoken to you for so long about so
yeah,
many things. I'm sure we can go on and on and on, but
yeah,
and we will later. And like I said,
yeah, definitely.
I'm really happy that we could catch up like this and have a conversation about such beautiful things. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Anoop, for being a part of this episode and being a part of the podcast. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching it. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much. I really enjoyed this.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Same, like here. Well, likewise. Thank you. Bye bye. Good night.